thought of an alternative road where the trucks can travel, i.e., a truck is coming from St. Thomas's Parish with a load of stuff. When they get to the roundabout on the main road by Hosford's, they should be able to continue to take that Long Point Road straight over and end up on the eastern end of the island without competing with all of the traffic on the main road. And
Caller, just by way of information, you know where the bypass road is?
the bypass road is the road that gets you from St. Thomas's.
Right.
So
When you, just before you get to TDC, you turn left.
yes.
Right. That's the bypass road. You know why they put it in? The main reason?
No. But Webber, I totally get that part.
Yes.
The road from where Hosford's is, going across to Long Point and continuing on to get you around to Indian Castle, should be put in place for those trucks to be carrying those loads.
Yeah, but the reason why I interrupted you was to tell you that the fact that they put the road in and say use that does not mean they will use it.
Well,
Because they put it in and say use that, but they still go to Charlestown.
You are correct. You are correct. Anyway,
I'm not suggesting that you should not still try to do it, but I'm just putting a reality to you to say to you that as you consider doing it, consider this as well.
well, at that point, the traffic department in Nevis will start functioning as a real traffic department and will have posts in certain areas where they can see things that are happening that they can't see from the Charlestown police station and make sure they happen right.
Okay,
Let me ask a quick question, though. You see this information? Thank you so much for us to be able to listen to this again tomorrow morning. But I have a question. Because of the phone issues tonight and all of that, and not being able to live stream, would you be able to go back from now and log on to your live stream?
Well, the internet just came back, so we are now streaming live.
Okay.
I have the ability to have done it, but neglected to have done it.
Okay.
Meaning I could have recorded it and then played back tomorrow. I didn't, so unfortunately, all you will see tomorrow of the stream, the video stream is the last 30 minutes.
Okay.
So, but that's my error.
I am hoping that people will be encouraged to listen tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock to your show.
Oh, you mean just the live stream has been affected, but we'll be on tomorrow as usual on the radio, on the transmission. Yeah.
No, but I mean from time to time I go back on your site.
Okay.
I can log into a show from a month ago.
Okay, I got you.
And listen to it. So
yeah, I got you.
You know, information. This is the era of which we are now.
Yeah, well,
I don't think the information era has really grabbed a hold of us yet.
This is a light moment. You all are just catching up because from 3 decades ago, Edric was the man who was pushing information on his desk.
Boy, he really was. He really was. And I always used to wonder, who is this Edric Stanley?
Yeah, people used to come from all over to sit his desk.
Well, I'm happy that he's a part of your panel. And Nevisians, pay close attention to what is happening in our country. Please pay close attention and listen. And don't just stoop and say, I mean, I listen to Weber there. I mean, I listen to them there. I mean, I listen to everybody. You will find something that's relevant and important. And what you didn't know before, you'll eventually learn and find out. We need to start listening more and paying closer attention. Thank you, Webo.
Okay, yes.
Webo, the caller asked people to listen, but I would like them to start participating as well, you know. it's all well and good to listen to Stanley, Edric Stanley, and myself back and forth, agreeing and disagreeing for whatever reasons. But there are other people out there who have, sometimes the kind of profound thing that comes from the general public, when you interact with them. I just don't have the time really, during the day to do that. And I keep encouraging people to call in, hear your views. You may have a different point of view, a different perspective, but feel free to call in and interact with us, because we don't know it all. I mean, some of us pretend like we do, we really don't. So really, I think I would just like to endorse what the caller said, and just to add that people should participate more. It is a democracy, and it has a price. We all have to pay the price, and we're not going to take whatever we accumulate now, and some people are very huggish about the things that they accumulate. We're going to leave it here. So don't concentrate too much on that. Concentrate on building a better country. Concentrate on leaving some a legacy that you could be proud of. That people don't say that you accepted everything and anything. You must be able to stand for something. And that is the problem I find, with Nivisions. We're not willing to stand, we're not willing to make the sacrifice, and so the place doesn't get any better. We just hear talk, it's always talk.
Well, this evening, the topic that was brought by Naya to the fore, we will see how it plays out. And I'm hoping that the larger picture would prevail. People kept asking, where are the investors? Where is the investment? We want to see a building. And probably based on that pressure that has been put on the decision makers, they sometimes say, well, we have to bring something to the fore and bend the rules or break the rules, as the case might be.
But they always promise that they would before they even get in position. They'll tell you that they have investors lined up, but that doesn't mean you must sell out the country. That doesn't mean that you must break all the laws to accommodate. Some things we probably might be able to do without, because it might in the end up costing us more for that same property that Naya made reference to earlier. It might cost us. Somebody else makes a decision, but all of us are going to have to end up paying for it. It's a possibility.
Well, the thing is that a lot of people may not understand the difficulty in getting foreign investors here. There's a difficulty, because when you look at cross-border transactions, we don't write our own currency in the true sense of the word. EC dollars are not the dollars out there. The dollars out there, real currency would be the euro, the pound sterling, the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, and in order to move those kinds of currencies into a minus third world country,
You compromise. All right.
you have to go through all kinds of hoop, trouble this way, that way, checks and balances here and there, the origin of funds, where would it be applied, what's the origin of its application, the original money to the application of what's going to be purchased, as the case may be. So many questions to be asked that it is not easy to bring foreign investment to our shores.
So maybe we need to start looking at our strategy. Maybe
difficult.
Maybe we need to start looking at our strategy. Why don't we quote the people who are out there? We're just going out to get our people who are in the diaspora. We are going out just to get them to come back to vote. They could participate more too. There are a lot of opportunities I see that they could participate in what is going on here in nation building. I don't know that we're enlisting them. It seems like we're not having that kind of conversation as much as I would like, really. Maybe we are having some kind of conversation with them, but I just don't see the participation. I'm not trying to suggest that the remittances that they send back may not be helping. All I'm saying is that I think that they could be engaged more. I see opportunities. I'm not a politician, but the thing is, politicians usually overpromise, and maybe it is about time they start to reel that back. Stop promising people things that you can't deliver, and if it is that you're going to have to compromise, come to the people and discuss it, and say, look, it's a hard decision we have to make. But sometimes just to discount or just to push aside the people who you really enlist to do the work, especially the technocrats. when you do that, you know you're asking for trouble. You do not disregard the advice of your technocrats, and you do not push them aside and demote them just because you cannot get your way. Like I said, maybe the best way might be to look at the laws. If you're a lawmaker, see how you can tweak the law. If you dare do that, But someone said earlier it's not a good place for us to be, and I concur. It's not a good place for it to be.
But you also agree that as a president, example Trump, you can employ technocrats, but if they're not conforming with your overall expectation or policy, you can get a different technocrat. You agree with that?
Of course, you can get different technocrats, and that's
So,
a problem
so,
sometimes.
so, right. Well, not necessarily a problem. Maybe it might be a blessing
Well, sometimes
that you got rid of one technocrat who perhaps was set and were presenting a view that your
doesn't align with your
right
policies,
your
yes.
policies cannot work or cannot
But
hold,
maybe you
because
need to
a
look at
lot
your policies.
the truth is that a lot of things can work in life. It is the will to get it done, because sometimes some people might be technocrats, they might be set in their ways, and they might say that it can't be done. And if you say, well, I'll try somebody else, then one person might get upset and so on and so forth. But the truth is, another technocrat might be able to get it done.
Yes, the truth is that could happen, but what we are looking at sometimes, though, is that people just moved out of the way, not because they're not efficient at what they're doing, not because they're not capable, but it's just because they're not very accommodating. and that is the unfortunate thing, because sometimes these technocrats that you move out of the way, these are the ones who are sticking to what the rules are.
Right.
And if you don't want a rule player, then you're just going to move the rule player out of the way.
But that
and get
is-
someone who is going to, say, okay, so whatever you say.
That is why in a democracy, then, full disclosure is important, so that people maybe can get both sides of the story.
True.
Because sometimes, like I said, you might only hear one, and a lot of times that one is rather convincing.
Well, I must say that, as a point made before, that a lot of effort has been made to lower our people, those with a certain amount in terms of net worth, back to help build our country. Some have come. Some are still watching to see if it is easy to, because it's not very easy for some of our people out there to come back here and to make a go of it, because Nevis is highly competitive. And at the same time, it could be a little frustrating, because there are people here who are bent on derailing your program. And if you are not very careful, you would have come back, taken the risk, and ultimately people force you to fail, because there are a lot of people who supposedly got advice, but not the best advice. And if you don't know what you're doing, if you do not know what you're doing in Nevis, I can guarantee you both would run aground, and you wouldn't have anybody to help you to refloat it. So, a lot of effort by the leaders, the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Premier, the Deputy Premier, or even the ordinary man, because he's here, would try to lure some of our people back here. Because I try to tell them, look, the value of a piece of real estate in Nevis is going up, and probably at a faster rate than the money you have in the bank in the United States.
And that is supposed to lure them back?
I'm not saying that, but it is one parameter that I have used to show that you can, in fact, invest into your country. Dust and snow. Figure that out.
He was left in the dust and snow.
He was left in the dust.
But you said it was
He
snow.
mentioned about the snow.
Yes.
Right. So that is on the one hand, and the dust is another.
So what is the thing about the dust?
Figure that one out, Webo.
Okay.
I sometimes toot my own horn too often. So tonight I'm not going to do it. Understand? What I'm just saying to you, as as Pat was mentioning, how that may not be enough to lure them in. I'm just trying to show them how what a little investment out of a little that they have there could do for them here when they come. Because he doesn't have not even a feather here. And he has done very well there. Still doing very well there. And I'm trying to leave a little something here. Lady mentioned about her navel string. Navel string. Leave a little here, navel string was buried. You understand? So, a lot of effort being placed on many of our people who live abroad for them to come back and invest a little.
So why are we failing to attract them? Maybe our strategy is bad. I don't know who you. When you say a lot of effort is being made.
It is nice
But,
to be living in a large country and to drive from one city to another and to go to plays, go to sports where you go into the stadium, you see 50,000 people. Here, what is it? It is, of course, a mindset. Because when I came, I used to go to nice places, the jurisdiction where I lived. When I came, I went to Dick's Bar. You know, they would only be, say, maybe 100 people around. Maybe on a good night, when something big, you might find 200 people out there. You understand me? But these people who, in fact, got acquainted to large gatherings, big functions, the distance they will drive, we don't have it here. You have to change your mindset completely in order to appreciate Nevis and St. Kitts. So,
well, it's a lot of things we got to change here. There's an interpersonal thing going on. Obviously, the island is very small. But to leave the city to come back to Nevis, it's not an easy thing, really.
you have a plan for it.
You got to plan for it, and you got to realize that, you know, it might seem like a half-life when you come back here. It seems like, because you have just mentioned so many things which is entertaining and makes you feel good being in the city. But one of the things to me that makes it difficult is the game that they play here, the spitefulness that comes from the political turf. The red tapes that sometimes is just a make-up red tape. It's not even a real red tape. It's sometimes a red tape just for the day because you're dealing with certain people in certain position and they ought to make it difficult for you. But right now
You
we're
have to
dealing,
figure it out.
Yeah, but right now we're dealing with the new citizens. The new citizens, them going to teach you a lesson, you know.
Look, I came
They're
in.
going to teach the government a lesson too.
I came
you
in,
know,
and when I looked around, I
because
said I could
the new
make a living in
citizen.
Nevis, and I went back and planned for 2 years. And when I came back, after I've been around for 5 years, some people said, "But you're still here?" I said, "What do you mean?" The lady mentioned tonight a navel string buried here. I said, "I was born here." 15 hours, people still ask me, "You're still here?" Because I saw what I saw. But I went back, planned for 2 years, and when I came back, one of my primary school teachers told me, "What are you doing? Don't say much to anybody." Teacher Myrtle, God bless her. I mean, she's in her 90s right now.
People want opportunity.
Opportunities are here.
People want to have opportunity and have access. People want equal opportunity too. You know, opportunities are here, but it's not sufficient and widespread enough to really bring back the people that we sometimes fantasize about. I mean, the government said they have a program that University Heights. If you go to university, you could
But
get.
that is on the one hand now.
Yeah, man, but it's a program, and we're talking about things to lure our people back here.
But what are the opportunities you see here for our people who are living abroad? What are the opportunities you
I
don't see?
I personally don't see much opportunity, really. And even those from who's going to come back from university, you got to be careful for them, because if I really want them to come here, these are educated people, you know, and these are people that they're going to demand that things work on a more professional level, on a more level whereby, you know, where people are respected and people are more professional. Come on, man. You know, I mean, we have become accustomed to a kind of standard here sometimes, and sometimes we only can really share it amongst ourselves, really, you know. I like when Culturama come, 'cause I see a lot of my folks and my brother come and you know, and I do ask them, you guys think you guys will want to come back here to live? And it's a resounding no. I mean, but they like me if they come 3-4 times a year.
And
But
they come for vote
and
too.
the other question is like, well, what are we gonna do here? You
They
know,
have-
But it
It
takes
has to be
vision.
from
It takes
them,
vision. It takes
within
vision.
them. You have to be within you. Look at Valuemart, look at Rams. Those are places when you go into the big cities, these stores are up to date. Valuemart and Rams.
yeah.
They're up to date.
Yeah,
And
but
they're not even owned by local people. You know,
When
they
you
can't
want to
miss-
say they're not local
they're
people.
not
but-
owned by
No,
local
I'm
people.
not arguing
No,
about they're not up to date. They're up to date.
Valuemart is owned by Hosford, the oldest company in the nation, going back in 1812. Rams, Kishu came here.
The
at
IGA, the IGA on Valuemart doesn't mean anything.
No, it's a
It's just a
franchise.
brand.
It's a brand. But Kishu came in at age 16 riding on the waterfront on his bike, and when he passed on his brochure that he gave out, he said, health gone, something gone. Money gone, nothing gone. But character gone, everything gone.
What does that have to do with reform to the laws? And I think that is the
Yeah.
point that we started off with. And I think that people need to be reminded that we have to conform. We're a nation of laws, and we keep saying it over and over again. And until we have respect for the law, we're going to run afoul, you know, and it's not going to be good for the country. And the unfortunate thing is that at the end of the day, it's not the politicians who are going to end up paying, you know, for the pain that they've caused. It's the country going to end up paying. Because already we're hearing that we're in tough times and all the rest of it and all that talk. And guess what? It gets tougher. Because if we have to have some kind of contributory negligence as it relates to this property that is coming up now, and we have to go pay out, you know, it's not out of the politician's pocket. And when, I know you made reference earlier how generous, you know, the premier is and all the rest of it. That's not his money, you know. And we have to be, you know, we have to remember these things, you know, and we have to be prudent in the way we spend not only on an individual basis, but as we said last week, macroeconomics come to play here. You know, when you make those big decisions, you know, big responsibility.
I know that we have a place that is, in my view, unparalleled. It is unique, and all you have to do is to open your eye and you would see the opportunities. Get your skills honed, sharpened, focused, and you can't miss it.
Well,
Don't be lazy.
It's not about being lazy, Stanley.
you also got to keep quiet too.
If you speak the truth, you don't have to keep quiet.
I'm
Let
just
me
saying,
repeat
I'm
that.
just saying
If you
how
speak the
difficult
truth-
it is here to speak the truth.
If you speak the
And,
truth, you
and
don't have to keep
even
quiet.
your little intentions and objectives in business and ambitions is threatened.
Yes.
But Naya, might I ask you, where have you ever read that it was easy to speak the truth?
I never read it.
Oh, there you go.
In Sunday school, it was easy to speak
Oh,
the truth.
oh no.
Yes,
When
it was.
Jesus was walking, it wasn't easy for him either. And that's the pattern that we have. That is how life is set up. Right? Nothing that is easy, you know, you just don't go and you just go and pick it up like that. It has to be that way. So make up your mind.
It's easy to speak
And-
the truth.
and-
If
and
you
let
deal
me-
with the consequences is different.
Let me make a quick point here that I wanted to bring in as part of the discussion. I had a question down here, but next week we can address it. I want to be educated on this marijuana and what the other term they're using with the marijuana, the legalizing and stuff like that.
Decriminalizing.
No, they have another product which is different.
Oh, hemp?
Hemp and something
The hemp
else.
is a byproduct
Yeah,
of-
something else they use. Anyway, the marijuana. And, you know, there's a lot of discussion going on how much money people are going to make and so on and so forth, right? So I asked the question, what's the difference? Maybe I could ask you of Naya very quickly. What's the difference of planting marijuana, have a field, harvesting it, selling it, and become rich, as opposed to planting vegetables, harvesting them, sell it, and become rich?
But I don't see no difference as a consequence of your work.
Right, but I don't hear anybody excited about planting vegetables and crops
Yeah.
and
It's human
selling
nature.
this stuff and then becoming rich.
No, but
That's
that's
a
the unit,
loaded
though.
question.
No, but
Where was the other fellow
the
who-
unit price, makes a difference.
Not necessarily.
You're
What
gonna
is
get $6 per pound for Tanya, and for a pound of marijuana, how much you gonna get, Liar?
but we don't know yet.
No, but how you mean you
Well,
don't yet?
No, we don't.
It's been on the market.
We-
They estimate the
We know what it is when it is illegal. We know what it is when it is illegal because a lot of profit in the price is the risk.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It's not maybe about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't
That
know
is the
in
backdrop
Colorado
which
it's any
I asked the
Is any
question.
cheaper?
Huh?
In Colorado, I don't know if it's any cheaper.
No.
Well, Afria, which is the name of the company that is traded on the stock exchange, they are making the stock is moving because
Oh, yeah.
people are finding it easy and profitable to invest in the stock. But I will tell you here, in the fellow who plants his vegetables and so on, he's making money. His boss is loaded with melon, and I tell you, if I tell you how much he offered to buy a property, not my property, but one that I'm selling, you'll be surprised.
Right. So he's making money too.
He's working.
But what I'm
He's not
saying
lazy.
is I don't hear that great excitement. There's something in it that I'm not getting. Maybe I will one of these days. This is Thought That Get Results. This program repeats tomorrow at 10 o'clock following the VON News Minute. Join the Honorable Mark Brantley tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock for On the Mag. Thank you all again for joining us. This is your voice in the community, Thought That Get Results. You all have a wonderful evening.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of News Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers.
Builders Paradise is running a special on granite at an unbelievable starting price of $590.